Hi everyone, good to see you again. I hope you're all doing well. I have a little bit of a cold today. Don't worry, it's just a cold. I'm a little stuffed up, so hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Okay, so today we're going to do page 77 in your class book, obviously. Activity 1 on page 77, okay, under the conditionals. Advanced functions or features. There is a listening. Unfortunately, my program is not downloading fast enough, and I can't get the audio to work. So you'll have to read the script, which is in the back of your book on page 215, right? It's number 29, if you can see it there. Okay. In this activity, they're going to talk about stealth advertising. So listen to part of a radio talk on stealth advertising. What do you think of the techniques it describes? So first of all, do you know what stealth means? Right? Stealth. You normally hear this term in terms of military or spies or particular missions that governments are trying to operate. And it's a stealth mission, it's an undercover mission, right? They don't want people to know what is happening or what they are doing. So this is what stealth means. And in terms of advertising, do you have any idea what it means? So think about it for a moment. And when you've thought about it, go to the back of your book on page 215 and read the dialogue, read the script, okay? And then come back, okay? So how correct were you in your thoughts? Can you imagine you're talking to your friends about their newest sweater and they start telling you, how much it cost, where they got it, the new collection. You might think they're just telling you about their shop, their clothes. But maybe there's something more than that. That'd be kind of cool. No, I wouldn't mind getting paid for that. Although it's a little dishonest at the same time. So I don't know. What would you do? Would you want to be involved in something like this? Think about it, okay? What do you think of the techniques it describes? So you can always write down your answer. And then, of course, as always, send it to me, okay? My email is on the English School website, and you can get my email from there, and you can send me all the work that you've done, okay? All right, so look at number 2. Look at the sentences A to D from the recording and find a word or phrase that means the following, or that does the following. Makes an event seem more hypothetical, right? A hypothetical situation is something that is unreal, but it's possible. It could happen, right? Number 2 is an extremely polite form, which is mainly used in writing. Makes a request less of an imposition, and makes a sentence sound more formal. So those are the functions. Look at the sample sentences from A to D and match them to the correct number. Okay, again, stop the video and come back when you're done. Okay, so number 1 was A. Okay. Number 2, C. 3, B. And 4, D. Okay, so in the back of your book, maybe you looked at it before, maybe you didn't, okay, there is a grammar reference on page 159. I wrote out some of the big things that they talked about. So I'll just show you them on a piece of paper, and you can always go back and have a look if I've missed something. Okay. So here's one example. It's basically with the advanced structures. It's trying to avoid the use of if, right? Using the conditional, but not using the word if, using different options, okay? So for example, here's a sentence. I could say, if I had known you weren't going to be available, I would have canceled the party, for example, okay? But if I don't want to use the word if, I can use this structure. Had I known you weren't going to be available, I would have canceled the party, okay? So instead of if, had I, and a past participle, right? Had I known, had I been, had I seen, okay, for example. Here's another example. I could have written, if you hadn't booked a return ticket, you could stay longer, right? Or, had you not booked a return ticket, you could have stayed longer, or you could stay longer, okay, depending, okay? So again, it's the same structure instead of using if, okay? Another possibility, should, using should. So if you should, again, this is more formal, okay? If you should require more information, do not hesitate to get in touch. You can use if in this sentence, perfectly fine, but it is a little bit more of a formal structure if you omit if and just use should. Should you require more information, do not hesitate to get in touch, okay? Do not hesitate. I don't know if there's a word for this in Spanish. I recall having this conversation with someone in the past. So don't hesitate. If you have a problem, call me immediately. Don't hesitate. It's not a problem. Okay? Okay. And then another option. Excuse me. If you will, or if you would bear with me. Okay? If you would be kind enough to. Okay? If you would bear with me, I'll come back in a moment. Right? So please wait a little bit. Right? Or if you're talking about something very complicated, right? Or a long story, like, okay, just be patient, bear with me here, okay? So different ways. Sorry, was I holding that backwards the whole time? Okay, so if you will, or if you would bear with me, or if you would be kind enough to listen to what I have to say, that would be fantastic, for example. Okay, and then this one is suppose, right? I could say, what if someone hears us, right? What if we had never met, right? Instead of using the what if structure, we can use suppose. Suppose someone hears us. Suppose we had never met, right? So a little bit more advanced ways of using the conditional. It's fantastic for formal activities, formal writings. Remember those. Again, if you want some more examples, these examples, I took them from the back of the book, so you can have a look again and look at them a little bit more in detail if you have any doubts. Okay, so now look at activity 3. And here you have to change the meaning of the sentences following the instructions in brackets. Use the conditional forms from activity 2. Okay, so again, stop your video, and when you finish, come back. Okay, everybody, so activity 1. If you inherited a lot of money, would you give up working? So hypothetical. If you were to inherit a lot of money, would you give up working? If you were to inherit a lot of money. 2. If you require assistance, contact a member of staff. Okay? Should you require assistance, contact a member of staff. If we had interviewed a large number of people, we would have obtained more reliable results. Had we interviewed a larger number of people, we would have obtained more reliable results. 4. If you see Joe, can you remind him to give me a call? If you happen to see Joe, can you remind him to give me a call? 5. If your brother phones me in the next couple of days, I might be able to arrange an interview. If your brother were to phone me in the next couple of days, I might be able to arrange an interview. And 6. If I had known working as a journalist was so demanding, I would have done something else. Had I known working as a journalist was so demanding, I would have done something else. Okay? Very good. So let's go on then to number 4. Cross out the alternative that is not possible in each sentence. Okay, again, stop the video and come back when you're ready. Hi, okay. So remember, you wanted to cross out the answer that is not possible, not the ones that are possible, okay? If the weather improves. Number 2, if we won. 3, unless. 4, provided. 5, supposing. And 6, if. Okay, good. Now, with activity 5, I think we're just going to bypass this activity, okay? And we'll go on to our report, writing, page 78. Again, emphasis on formal language in this activity, okay? It's to have more practice by using more of a formal construct. Look at the extract from a survey on attitudes to advertising. Respond to the questions and compare your responses with other students. So, I like to look at most of the advertisements I'm exposed to. Most advertising insults my intelligence. In general, I feel I can trust advertising. Products usually live up to promises made in their advertisements. And in general, I like advertising. Okay, so take a moment and think about whether you agree, disagree, or neither. All right, so again, stop the video and come back when you're ready. Okay, so number 1, let's just say the word together that we chose for ourselves, okay? So number 1, agree, disagree, or neither. Agree. Most advertising insults my intelligence. Disagree. In general, I feel I can trust advertising. Neither. Products usually live up to the promises made in their advertisements. Neither. In general, I like advertising. Neither. Okay, so did we have anything in common? Are we similar? Are we different? Okay. So it's a very interesting survey. And in activity 2, the survey was conducted with large groups of people. Look at the results on page 145. Then read the report below. Does it give an accurate account of the results? And how could you improve the answer? Okay, so again, take a moment and read the article, and then we'll see what we think. Okay, so accurate account, yes or no? Yes, it's fairly accurate. You know, the people's opinions, not too bad compared to ours, but okay, very good. So now in activity 3, I want you to read the report again, and I want you to underline 4 formal ways of expressing contrast between two results or points of view. 4 formal phrases referring to the people who answered the questionnaire. And 2 formal words for think. Okay, so again, stop the video, and when you come back, we'll correct the answers. Okay, so 4 formal ways. While, strange as it may seem, on the one hand, on the other hand, and notwithstanding. Okay, notwithstanding. Excuse me. Good. Formal phrases referring to people, right? People, people, people. How can we say people in a more formal way? Obviously, it depends on the context sometimes, okay? Respondents, right? People who do a survey. They are respondents, or they are participants, okay? Those surveyed, okay? You could say people surveyed or those surveyed, okay? And those whose opinions were sought. S-O-U-G-H-T, right? Can you see? S-O-U-G-H-T, sought. Sought is the past participle of what verb? Any idea? Seek. Do you know the game hide and seek? Right? Somebody hides and you go and look for them. I see you. Right? Hide and seek. So seek and the participle sought. Okay. And the last one, 2 formal words for think. Regard and consider. Okay, a lot of people say think, believe, okay? But try to use one other option as well, okay? And now, what are you going to do? You're going to write a report, okay? Activity 4. Look at the task and some ideas a candidate wrote down while preparing her answer. What headings do you think the candidate used in her report? An international market research company has asked you to write a report on advertising in your country. The company that has commissioned the report wants to know about the most common approaches used and how consumers respond to them. You are also asked to suggest changes to current approaches or alternative approaches, which you believe would be more effective. Again, 220 to 260 words. Look at the options that you have that you can or cannot use at your discretion if you have other ideas, but these are fantastic to help you. Important. When you write a report, what do you need? Many things, including a title, headings, so paragraphs, very important. You can use bullet points, you know, the little dots, but don't go crazy with the dots because then you can get carried away and talk too much about one particular topic. So don't go crazy with the bullet points, okay? And really important in the last paragraph to summarize your final opinion, right? That's important. Before you write, look at the writing reference in the back. They have some more formal language in the back for you to use, okay? And again, as I said before, send me your writing to my email address that's on the website for the English page, okay? On the website for the English school, okay? And lastly, I know it's a lot. You don't have to do it all right away, okay? You also have the review, okay? You have the review. Next day, we will correct it together, okay? So at the beginning of the lesson. So if you haven't done it, stop, okay? All right. Bye, everybody. We'll see you soon.